All right, we're live now. So I guess you'll take it from here, Cecil. You guys are entertainers.
Okay. Um, so hi everyone. I'm Clint Cecil. I'm originally from Cresaptown. I live in Madison, Wisconsin now. I graduated from Frostburg twice. Once in the math department, and I got the master's in computer science. I've been working for about 5 years now, 4 or 5 years. So I was talking to Steve, Professor Kennedy. I don't know what you guys call him, but about trying to come in and talk to the computer club. So how many of you guys are members of the computer club?
Keep all alive.
And anyone? I think anyone on the left side of the room I can't see very well. So, how many guys? What are you as far as freshman, sophomore, junior, senior? How many of you guys are freshmen?
They all don't go here.
Sophomores, juniors, seniors.
Grad students?
Oh yeah, grad students. How many grad students are there?
You totally can't see you. Yeah.
You guys have a nice new office now that they remodeled.
Yeah. Define nice.
Nicer than what I had.
Yeah, it's a lot nicer than Uncle.
Yeah, so I graduated, I guess, 2010. I got hired by a company called Epic out here in Madison, Wisconsin. I heard from them, and I thought, why would anyone want to live in Wisconsin? And then I went out there during the summer, and it was really nice, and now it's wintertime, I think that again. A little bit colder than Frostburg, not as much snow. But I worked, they make healthcare software. They're the largest provider in the country for electronic health records. They do health records for like Kaiser Permanente and a whole bunch of big hospitals. I worked there for about a year, and then I took a job in D.C. with a company called CTAC. They do government contracting for mostly for HHS, but for some other agencies as well. We actually did the preliminary demo for healthcare.gov, which they then threw out the window and started from scratch. And we all know how that worked out, I think. I left there earlier this year, about April. And since April, I've been working for a company called Primex Wireless. We do temperature sensors and clocks. I do a web-based API that's cloud-based with Amazon Web Services for them. So, like, they sell temperature sensors to hospitals that, I guess, like, they put them in the refrigerator where they keep their plasma or their organs, where everything has to be kept a certain temperature. It raises alarms and things whenever it hits a threshold and that kind of thing. So I thought I'd come and talk to you guys. Well, come virtually, I guess. Tell you a little bit about my history and my experiences as soon as I left college. So I think the first one, when I started working at Epic, it was kind of a weird experience. I moved all the way to Wisconsin, didn't know anybody. Epic hires about 200 people a month right now, and they go through employees pretty quickly, but they hire a lot of people straight out of college. The work is in a programming language called MUMPS. I don't know has anyone ever heard of MUMPS? It's because nobody's used it since the 70s. So Mumps was kind of awful to work in. Their front end was in Visual Basic 6, which Microsoft hasn't supported in so long that we had to add in support for mouse wheels. So it was working with some outdated technology. They had a lot of talent there. I think the company's up about 4,000 employees right now, and all of them are located in the outskirts of Madison. They run their organization like a college almost. They have a whole campus. They bring in everybody on the first of the month that's starting, and all the new hires start together, and they take classes on programming, on the company, on healthcare, different things. So it's kind of like just continuing with college. Kind of a meat grinder kind of place. They wanted me to work long hours without any overtime pay, that kind of thing. Although they gave the pay was good right off the bat. So I guess kind of got burnt out really quickly. I was working probably 80 hours a week or more, a lot of weeks. And I decided that wasn't really what I wanted to do for very long. I don't know if you guys know anything about any of the other graduates from computer science in Frostburg, but the two of them, Stephen Gates and Justin Rains, and I started working for this company, CTAC. So that was about 2011 that we started working for them. Stefan started first and then called me and said, "Hey, I know you're not happy at Epic. Do you want to come down to work there?" So I moved to Virginia. It's kind of cool. Completely different atmosphere. Everything was new. We were working with Groovy on Grails, Ruby on Rails, a lot of JavaScript stuff, some Java, and we got to work on a lot of government projects with other contractors and HHS. In 2013, I decided to move back to Wisconsin with my wife, and so I started working remotely for them. The situation working remotely wasn't as good, and so I started looking for work around the beginning of this year, and I settled on Primex, which is where I am now. I do solely Ruby on Rails work now. It's just API. I don't touch any of the user interface. I don't do any JavaScript or HTML. It's kind of nice because I'm a math guy. It's more of the problem solving in the back end and less of the creative side in the front end. So it's kind of cool. We use a lot of different cloud technologies. Everything's hosted on EC2. We're using Amazon's database services. We're using their queuing services. Pretty much anything Amazon sells, we buy. So that's a little bit of my history. Does anyone have any questions right off the bat? What was that? Yeah, so I guess some lessons learned. I think when I graduated, I expected to go out there and write some big apps right off the bat. I think that was an unrealistic expectation. I guess I think everybody thinks that they're going to work on something new and write a lot from scratch. And until this third job that I've had, everything was fixing other people's problems or modifying a big project that already existed, and you're just touching little pieces. You're doing a lot of testing, that kind of thing. So I guess that's kind of an interesting set of skills, because I didn't really know how to read code when I graduated. I could could write my own code pretty well, but I didn't have much experience looking at other people's code and fixing it, trying to match styles with other people, outside of a couple group projects. Most of my groups were pretty good at Frostburg. We did have one bad software engineering experience where a kid dropped out who had been doing most of our coding and didn't give us any of his work. That was basically what the real world's like.
What'd you get in the class?
What's that?
What'd you get in the class?
I got an A.
What's your driver's class?
Yeah, so I guess actually this job that I took in April, you guys had interviewed me between my interview and my start date. He had a heart attack and passed away. So it was kind of a weird thing to just jump in and take over his role a lot, looking at his code and what he'd been working on and just picking it up and without anyone to really guide you, you know. So I think you really need to be adaptable. I think you need to be willing to jump in and do things that you're not quite comfortable with. You always have to be learning. You know, every time you take a job or a project where you're working in a new language, there's going to be some learning that you're going to have to do. You're going to have to do some reading, do some practice stuff, that kind of thing. What are you guys still mostly Java?
Yeah. Exclusively.
Yeah, Java's really good to learn in, and I thought I was good at Java, and then I started doing enterprise level Java when I got out, and there's just there's a whole other world out there as far as writing Java and the size of projects and things. So it's kind of shocking. I think the best thing you guys could do is probably try to get on GitHub and find some open source projects to contribute to. That would make a world of difference.
I'm trying to make them do a game in the club, and they just tell me to stop assigning stuff. And now Snake is assigning stuff too. So
We just start simple with a hat.
Yeah, I mean, you can start really simple with contributing to open source.
is Tetris not simple?
What's that? The game is not simple, Steve.
No.
I think I think that would be a cool idea, and it would be cool to look at what you guys could accomplish.
Don't encourage him.
Are you done? Do you even know what the game's going to be yet, though?
Tetris.
Tetris.
Pac-Man.
That's actually a good idea.
Limbo. Call of Duty.
You guys can pull that off. Have you guys started using any kind of version control in classes yet? What's that? Okay.
Not in classes, unless it's part of a design or engineering course, you have to like figure it out. I've used Ruby version before.
What kind of version control are you using?
RVM.
RVM? Okay.
Never mind. I don't know what you mean that. Oh, it is. Yeah.
It's a little bit different. RVM is a version manager for Ruby, right? Yeah, I mean like Git. Git's a version. Mercurial.
Tetris is up on Git, but we haven't really had people try merging code yet.
Okay. Well, that's a good start. Knowing Git will be a huge boost to your resume. I think everybody here should go learn Git.
I love you, Clay.
What is GitHub? I don't know. They keep using these words around and it scares me. It sounds like witchcraft.
GitHub?
Yeah,
GitHub is this website Basically, it's a free code hosting website. They have really awesome version control systems. So basically, the idea is every time you make a change to your code, you check it in. It keeps a complete history of your code. So if somebody checks in, deletes a file accidentally, does some breaking change, you can roll backwards. It also handles, like, if multiple people are working on things and they both commit changes, you don't just overwrite each other's changes, it merges them back together. GitHub is a free hosting site for Git, which does all that. They also have a really nice student program. So if you search for GitHub Student, it should be your first, the education pack should be the first link. They have all kinds of free software, free accounts at different places for anybody with an EDU web address or email address. So that's a really nice source for you guys if you want to check it out. Yeah, so I'm a big proponent of Git. I actually, at CTEC, we were using Subversion, and I switched the whole. I pushed for the whole company to switch to Git. Converted all of our projects, which we had dozens of projects that I had to convert to Git. Yeah, so Git is good. Go learn it. What else can I assign you guys? Are you keeping a note of the assignments I give them, Steve?
Yes. It's all recorded on YouTube.
Oh, that's true. Another thing that comes in really handy that I wasn't really great at whenever I was at Frostburg is command line tools. Knowing I wasn't really great on server-side stuff. Wasn't great with Linux or Unix or Mac terminal use. I could do some basics, but any of that stuff you can pick up. It's definitely good to know. Some other advice, I guess, is be adaptable with what you're working with. Some shops are going to use Macs, some shops are going to use Linux, some shops are going to use Windows Server. I don't know why they would do that, but you have to work with what you've got. Sometimes it means working in languages that are really awful, like mumps. Sometimes it means getting to work with the cutting-edge technology that's really cool. So I guess I use a lot of what I learned at Frostburg. I guess when I graduated, I was kind of worried. You know, Frostburg's a small school. Computer science is a small program there. I thought, am I really going to be competitive with people that are going to MIT, people that are going to University of Maryland, or wherever, you know? Duke, all these different big schools, and nobody knows what Frostburg is out here. They see your FSU shirt and they think it's Florida State, and they're like, no, it's Frostburg, and they're like, well, what's that, you know? But I think the education I got at Frostburg is really good. A lot of the people I've met, it doesn't matter where they went to university, they don't know a lot, and all the Frostburg people I've worked with have always been high quality. So like I said, I worked with Stefan and Justin down there at CTEC. They're both still at CTEC. Actually, I think Justin might come talk to you guys if you guys invite him at a later date. So I think there's like I think there's two mindsets in the computer world, maybe three, but the third one is kind of a small portion. There's a group of people that think that they're way better than they are, and they overestimate their skill set. Anytime there's a project, they're always thinking that they can get it done in half the time it's going to take, and then act surprised when they don't. And then there's another group that feels like they're not real programmers. You know, when you're a freshman, you look at the stuff that the sophomores and juniors are doing, and you think, wow, that's crazy. I'm never going to get there. And then you get to that level, and you look at the stuff that the people that are graduating are doing. You think, I'm never going to get there. And then you look at the stuff that the graduate students are doing, and you think, wow, that's impressive. I don't know if I can ever get there. Then you get out in the real world, and you look at Steve Klabnik or Aaron Patterson or Bill Gates or all these great computer people, and you think you don't belong. You think that your skill set isn't as high as it is. And I think you guys need to realize that when you graduate, you're going to have the skill set you need, and you got to go out there and get after it to get to that level. But it's all attainable. So. Does anyone have any questions about, like, I don't know, how classes apply, how it is to find a job, anything like that?
Those are great. You have time for both those?
Yeah. So, as a mathematician, I think you guys should all quit computer science and major in math and just minor in computer science.
Can you pause for a second? We had a question.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
Oh, did you have any classes where you had to use Git, where they actually taught you or forced you to learn it?
No, I had no idea what Git was when I graduated. I didn't know that stuff was out there. You know, when we worked on our software engineering project, we emailed files back and forth. And so, like, if I edited a file and somebody else edited the file, we would lose somebody's work because we would either get my copy or their copy, but it wouldn't have the other person's work in it. It was awful. And I had no idea that there was a solution out there to take care of that. But that's what Subversion and Git are, is a solution for that, to collaborate and do work together. So if you're doing group projects, I highly recommend looking into it. It's definitely saved me in the past. Git is distributed versus Subversion is centralized. So Subversion, you have one server, and everybody pushes and pulls from that server and gets the updates to the code. Git has everybody has their own copy of the whole repository. So if GitHub goes down, you still have a full copy on your computer, and anybody else that has the project checked out also has that copy. So you can keep working, and you can rebuild it if something fails. So it's I guess everything's kind of backed up, and the state is shared across everybody. So yeah, I've been trying to email professors at Frostburg and stuff and get them to add Git and some other things to the courses that I think would help you guys. And if anybody wants any help with it and they're fooling around with it, you can feel free to contact me. I don't mind helping out anybody. My website, by the way, which is down as of today, is clintcecil.com. So I guess the IP address changed, and I haven't updated it. Looks like it's still. Oh no, it's back up. I did some changes right before this meeting, and now it's working again. GitHub has this really nice feature called GitHub Pages. This clintcecil.com is actually hosted on GitHub. You just make a repository and have static pages with JavaScript and HTML, and they'll host it for free, which is really cool. And then you get something like Namecheap has free.me domains for education accounts. So you just register with your frostburg.edu email address, and you get a free stevekennedy.me website. If you hurry up and register, you can probably steal it before Steve gets it. What did you say?
Damn it, he just left. He went to get it.
He snuck out? Okay.
We got to get 420 will probably not take it, so you know.
Here you go, one.
I posted in the group chat for this hangout, and I'll go back and put it on the YouTube video or whatever, or email it back to you guys. I actually prepared some notes with some different things that I thought I might talk about today, and it's on GitHub, so you guys can look at it. And there's tutorials for Git. There's links to different, like the GitHub education package. Have you guys ever heard of CodePen or JS Fiddle?
Yeah. Sorry. No, it was that.
So those websites are really cool websites where you can put up your HTML, your JavaScript, your CSS, and generate web pages on the fly. See them in a browser and share them with each other. So you can, you can be like, hey, look at this. I'm having this trouble with this JavaScript. Can someone take a look at it? And you can share it, and somebody else can log in and see what's wrong with it, and make changes to it, and send it back to you. So that's a really cool thing to use. How many of you guys use Reddit? So probably a little more than half. There's some really good Reddits for programming. You can go to /r/learn programming, /r/java, /r/webdev. There's all kinds of subreddits out there with up-to-date news and advice on how to work or how to be better as a programmer. So yeah, I guess what classes do you guys think are useless right now?
IDS.
What is it?
IDS.
IDS? Which one's that?
It's one of the beginner classes that you have to take.
The security one?
No, it's not security. It's just
We did it.
When I was there, operating systems was awful. I hated it. I hated it so much.
What teacher did you have for OS?
I had, I'm not going to say.
Was it a guy or a girl?
Yes.
Was it Dr. Barnard?
Compiler just completely kicked me in the ass. What's that?
We know who you have for that class.
That was Mosin. Doesn't he still teach it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I took graduate level compiler because I didn't have it. It was an elective actually as a grad student. I didn't have it as a math major in undergrad.
Did you know ahead of time?
Did I know ahead of time that it was going to be hard?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I wanted to learn.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm one of those guys.
Going all in.
Yeah, it nearly killed me.
Maybe not that far. What's your dream job?
What's a what? Sorry about that. My phone is exploding right now. I don't know why. I haven't figured out this new Yosemite with the OS X. So when my phone rings, it rings on my computer, which makes everything go crazy. So yeah, anybody thinking of they might want to work from home, work remotely for a job?
No.
I need your
I think that would be hard.
I
I
need
gotta
your
go
friends.
somewhere to do my. When I don't see human beings, I might go crazy.
Yeah, that happens.
That's Tuesday.
When that happens, you volunteer to give a talk to a computer club at your old school or something like that.
So are you now less crazy?
Yeah, you
I'm glad.
right now.
The heads and hats is crazier, so there's that.
Yeah, so my first job that I worked remote was the one in Virginia. It was really tough. You know, I was kind of out on my own. Everybody else was working from the office. The manager didn't talk to me for probably a month or two, which was not a good sign. This job right now, I work from home though. I work with a team of about 7 people. Sometimes we get some extra help from other teams and things. But it's everybody's remote. We have 4 people in Madison, 2 in Chicago, and 1 in Florida right now. So it's kind of cool talking to those guys every day. I think if you guys ever get in a situation where you're working remotely, the key is to stay in contact, keep up to date with what's going on with everyone else on your team, because it's really easy to get lost and get off on your own. So yeah. Is anyone going to try to stay in Frostburg area and work? Go to D.C., Frederick, Hagerstown, Baltimore.
Baltimore, woo!
Anywhere there's a job.
Anywhere there's a job.
I am literally a prostitute, except not.
Except not literally yet.
So not.
That dog, English language, all good.
Yeah, so there's a ton of different jobs out there. You know, you might find jobs in surprising areas. I never thought I'd be writing code for temperature sensors to tell how cold a refrigerator is.
Okay, this might sound a little condescending, but is that fun to you? like all 100% serious. Like, do you enjoy that?
Yeah, actually, I really do. I was kind of surprised myself. So I needed a job, so I took it. But I really enjoy it. Really, most of this stuff isn't dealing with the sensors. It's like any other API where you're given data, you're retrieving data from a database, you're pushing it out to people, making it accessible and secure and that kind of thing. So yeah, I think it's pretty fulfilling, and I guess it's weird that all 3 of my jobs have been in healthcare-related fields, but that just kind of is the way it worked out. I think you guys should try to network as much as you can, just because it makes finding a job really easy. I don't know if there's any meetups or anything around the area for Frostburg as far as programmers. I was talking to Steve about it actually, and if you guys could start like a monthly meeting where you get together and show off what you've done. You know, if somebody has a project where they build an Arduino that does Christmas lights, or they do something to brew beer, you know, automate your lagering process, or whatever their little side projects and cool projects are for school even. You know, if you just got together and you meet people and connect with people and keep in touch with those people, I think that could really help you out. My current job I got because I was going to the Rails meetup group once a month, and I met my boss there, and so we hit it off, and I got a job offer out of it. I've gotten job offers from other Frostburg alumni. that CTAC job, I didn't even know that was a company until Stefan started working there and got in contact with me. So I really think, use the resources that are available to you, and try not to be as introverted as some computer people tend to be. I know that's stereotyping, but a lot of it's true too. So, talk to me, talk to Mike Flynn in the back there, talk to Steve. They know people that can help you out, and don't be afraid to ask for help. It's not really an easy process to go through by yourself. Somebody else ask a question.
Did your online presence ever help you in your job finding?
Yeah, actually, I had no interest in moving to Wisconsin. I didn't know anything about Wisconsin other than there were cows and it was cold. And so I had some projects up online. I had a website up, and Monster.com. I had my resume out there, and somebody from Epic contacted me. And they said, we want to fly you out for a job interview. And I figured, hey, it's a free trip. So I went out and ended up working here for a year. And I liked Madison so much that after moving to Virginia, I worked for 3 years in order to move back to Madison. So definitely the online presence is huge. You can get projects up on GitHub. If you can get like a portfolio built, that looks really good. People love to see what your actual skills are and that you're actually doing some code. It's really hard to hire good people in computers. You sit down for an hour or less interview, and you're trying to figure out whether this is somebody that you want to work with for the foreseeable future. If it's somebody that has either the skill set or the ability to learn the skill set, and that's a judge. So anything you can do to get yourself out there definitely helps. One of the other things I've learned is trying to find jobs. A lot of the times there's a disconnect between human resources and the tech department. So somebody says, hey, we'd like somebody that has some experience in HTML5, and the HR people put it's a requirement to have 10 years of experience in HTML5. Does anybody here know how old HTML5 is? So it's only a couple years old, and I've actually seen job requirements that list 10 years of HTML5 experience, And I've contacted people and I said, do you mean HTML experience? And they say, no, you have to have HTML5 experience, because they don't know the tech side. And you're going to have to fight and break through some of those people to get jobs. Go ahead, Mike.
I didn't see that one.
What's that?
Who was your favorite professor in computer science?
Bert?
One question now. He's been incredible. Go ahead. He's going to reach the screen.
Come all the way to Wisconsin. I just came down to say hi, Clint.
Hi, Mike. Yeah, I think you guys, you have a really good set of professors there. Even though Mike Flynn's there too. Just kidding. They all have different experiences, different skills, and if you can take advantage of that, Mike knows everybody that's gone through the program before, and I think, there's so many different people that you can meet, different contact with somebody. That we have alumni working at Google, we have alumni working in DC, we have all kinds of different people all over the country that would be willing to help you guys out. Just all you have to do is ask. So.
What would you say is more important, having a good GPA or having like a big portfolio full of stuff that you can say you worked on?
I think the portfolio is more important. I really do. I'm not saying don't worry about your grades.
These, the check.
Especially for your first job. You know, they're going to look at your transcripts. They're going to look at your grades. But after your first couple jobs, you know, they're going to be more focused on what you've done out in the workforce, and so you know, it's definitely good to have a good portfolio. So I would say it's slightly more important.
But don't goof off your whole time while you're on
Goof off.
We don't goof
You gotta have some goof off. Don't listen to comments. You have to make friends.
Don't listen to them.
You must have.
Friends are social constructs.
Do any of you guys have any have done or have any plans to do internships?
Really, we have friends.
Couple people. I think that's really important. If you can get an internship somewhere, odds are you'll get a job offer at that place as long as you do good work and solid work. So if you can get your foot in the door that way, working over the summer or get connected somehow, definitely do everything you can to do that and grow. Let's see. I didn't really actually see Kevin. Who is Kevin that I've been emailing? And
Hi.
Kevin.
You know that.
I don't know if you've talked to any of the other guys that I recommended to come talk, but I know Robert was willing to come talk. He's an expert in accessibility, and that's like a whole other world of programming that I didn't even know was there. Programming, keeping in mind people that are colorblind, keeping in mind people that are deaf, people that have other vision impairments, using screen readers, that kind of thing. There's just so many different little areas that you could focus on, and there's so many people out there that know more than you do to learn from. So that's the biggest thing you can do is learn from other people and keep growing. So. I eat lots of pizza.
Clinton, didn't you have me for graduate class?
What's that?
Didn't you have me for graduate class?
I don't think so. I think the last class I took with you was the multimedia.
Has it been that long ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude was graduated.
Quentin, I'll see you. I gotta go, bud.
Hey, see ya.
Can you show the dogs? I saw them. Well,
What?
we're gonna have to shut down.
Dog?
We're already waiting up.
What's a dog?
Oh, yeah.
So, Randy,
Puppy! Puppy!
Thank you, bud. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you guys for listening to me talk for an hour. Let me know if you guys ever need anything. You can give you my contact information.
alright, I'll be stopping the broadcast now.
Okay. Have a good day, guys.
Alright, goodbye.